is not always a bad thing.
Oh, not at all.
And I feel like there was some pushback, maybe, because Delaney was very well liked, among the parents, among the kids, among administration, at least here building wide. And I'm not saying necessarily any of those people are pushing back, but maybe a little bit in the community, like, hey, what's going to happen? His system, we're going to put in a lot more hours in practice. We're going to put in a lot more hours watching film. It's going to be different, but change is not bad. And I think it's good for our kids to see kind of a different side of it.
Oh, absolutely. And there are some schools, not just here in Johnson County, but all over the country where there are coaches that are at a place for 10, 15, 20, 30 plus years at the high school level. And there's nothing wrong with it if they've won 6, 7, 8, 10 state titles. But there are some schools across the state of Kansas that have coaching changes, whether it is because of attendance or turnout, where they have coaching changes every 3 or 4 years, or they might go through 3 head coaches in a 5 or 6 year run, and it can set a program back many times. And it doesn't matter what county you're in the state of Kansas or in Missouri. It happens all over the country.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm excited. I think, our kids have worked harder this summer, more hours than we did my previous 3 summers with Delaney. We went to a team camp, which part of that was because we were a flexbone team. You don't get as much out of those camps as you would. Now we're going to be more spread. A great hire we didn't even talk about is him getting Justin Hoover to come over from Miege to be the offensive coordinator. I mean, not taking anything from Andy Walter, who was our coordinator before. I love Andy, great guy. So I'm excited about the change. I think it kind of reinvigorated even some of us. And I think the kids are excited and they're buying in from what I can see. And I'm excited to see how it's going to turn out when we get into mid-August, late August, September.
Absolutely. These kids have everything to gain. I mean, and take it with a grain of salt. It's going to be water under the bridge one day, and you're going to laugh about it your sophomore year in college that, yep, we may have did this with one coach, but this coach came in my junior and senior year. And we did the same thing. It might have been better. It might have been worse. But you're still going to get a lot out of it as a student athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right, so one more coaching change then in the league. That's 5 we've covered. What was that last school, the one we missed?
I believe that was...
You talked about Gardner, Lawrence, Shimerson North.
That would be our first-year school with T.J. O'Neill over at Olathe West.
Olathe West, that's right. First year playing varsity football.
With the West Owls, they're going to be in a similar position that Olathe East was in 93-94. I'm just dating myself. And there will also be Olathe Northwest when they were a junior varsity team in 2003. They also had to deal with this while... Lawrence Free State, when they opened in 97, they were automatically a varsity team, only because of the year that they opened was like a year when they had a schedule change where they were going to come out varsity like Blue Valley Southwest did in 2010 on an odd or even year of schedule making. So Olathe West, coming into their second year as a school, all the sophomores are going to be juniors. There will be a senior class this year at Olathe West. These kids have nothing to lose because they are the last melting pot of Olathe. And they are going to have students from Olathe North, Olathe South, Olathe East, Olathe Northwest on their team. And just because they've been together for about 10 months as students, they still don't know each other. Mm-hmm. But they also don't have anything to lose. And they have everything to gain. So whether they go 4-4 or whether they go 1-8 or 2-7 or 7-3, who knows? I mean, anything is possible. Yeah. And I would say don't ever count anybody out, regardless of it being a new school. I mean, historically, like Olathe Northwest and Lawrence Free State, they do have great histories. I mean, it might be in sport B, C, and D, but the football and the logo on the helmet are ultimately the face of the school.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, how they do. Like you said, they don't have anything to lose. I mean, so it just depends on how that coaching staff and Coach O'Neill is getting the buy-in from those guys and how well they're learning the system and going to execute it.
Oh, yeah.
It always comes down. It's not the X's and the O's. It's the Jimmies and the Joes.
Jimmy's and the Joes, yeah.
Old saying, again, cliche, but I mean, the longer I've been doing this, this will be year 16 coaching high school football. The kids make all the difference. The players, the student athletes, they make the difference. I mean, your system can help or hurt you, but how well your kids respond to your system is ultimately what matters.
Absolutely, and having the right people in the right places. And I'm not talking about on the field, but the right coaches, the right teacher coaches to lead them in the hallway, in the classroom, and getting on the bus, leaving the school to go to the field. That's ultimately where it's going to start.
Yep.
Smiles, laughs, jokes, pranks, whatever you got to do to keep it light, even when you're down or an injury, still to have fun.
Yeah.
Even on the way to the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I know, the last 4 years here at East, this senior class, they were freshmen when I came in. And so they're the first class I've seen all the way through. I feel like I have a really good relationship with those seniors. The juniors and sophomores, I coach them as freshmen. And so, that relationship there is good. The new freshman class, I don't know too well yet, but, it'll come.
Oh,
But,
they're not going anywhere. They've got the next 4 years to learn under Fred Bouchard, and they're going to go out and excel like nobody's imagined.
Yeah.
So,
and they're definitely going to get a baptism by fire with Coach Hare down there with them.
they have no idea what they're walking into.
No.
And
Coach Hare is amazing at what he does and motivating kids and
they
getting
need
the
to-
most out of them.
My advice to those current incoming freshmen is wait till you land a gym class with them.
Yeah.
I'm just speaking from experience from about 23 years ago, and you will pay that price heavily.
Yeah. So if you got to pick a winner in the Sunflower League, do you have one? Do you have an idea? Can you throw somebody out there?
It's a great question, but with it being July, it's impossible to tell right now because everybody's coming off team camps, 7-on-7s throughout the Missouri and the Kansas side, which are always great. I usually can't even put myself into the football realm coming out of high school baseball and soccer and track and field, which I love in the spring. Mm-hmm. That come August, the first week of August is usually when I start breaking everything down, and I know that even before the end of the month, I know that school A, B, and C out of these 13 schools in the Sunflower League are probably going to stand out amongst the other 9.
Okay.
Maybe, yeah. It's
And
impossible to
tell us again where you can find your where we can find your blog and keep up with it throughout the season.
throughout the season, you can click on www.sunflowerfootballnews.com, and there will be all kinds of stuff on it throughout the year. I mean, and even though we haven't even brought it up, which I should have earlier with the Late to South, that we do have Brandon Smith, who was formerly under Jeff Gorley. He was drafted this year by the Indianapolis Colts out of Auburn. And him, like Ryan Lilja and Darren Sproles, is just one of 3 athletes that I would want any of these 13 schools, and even the student athletes in the EKL, that they know it doesn't matter what logo he had on his helmet as a high school student athlete, is that if he can make it and get drafted, even if he doesn't even make the team, one of you can get there too. And I don't care if you went to Bishop Miege, Gardner Edgerton, Shawnee Mission North, Olathe East, you can still find your way onto somebody's draft board, no matter what, if you're a junior college athlete, because many of them go on to play in the NFL. Don't underestimate yourself academically, athletically, because that's what those teacher coaches are hired to do for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Even I spent a couple years at Avila University, here in Kansas City as a GA, and we even had kids that would get workouts, with NFL teams. So, you're right. The logo on the side of your helmet, yes, play for it with pride.
Absolutely.
But if you're good enough, then you'll get found.
Oh, yeah. Somebody out there will find you. I mean, all it takes is an assistant college coach to call someone he knows that, yes, we do need to sign this student athlete.
Yeah.
And nobody else has signed them. I mean, and that goes for any of the sports in high school.
All right. So anything else you want to hit here real quick?
I think that pretty much covers, but this summer, closing out 2018 before we head into the fall semester.
Yeah. Well, we got, Friday is the 13th, and on Friday, July 13th, that'll be about a month from when Kansas high school football camp opens all across the state. So after, we got camp this week here at East, and then after Friday, we'll shut it down for about a month and kick things off.
Yep. That gives the kids plenty of time to get healed.
Yep.
Get taken care of.
Hydrate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, Kevin, thanks for being on.
Yeah.
And Austin, you got anything?
No, that's it, man. It's great. A great high school preview. I'm sure we'll touch on it again before the season gets going.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk when it gets a little closer. Here in the next couple weeks, we're going to try to have some other guys I know, coaches I've worked with or currently work with on and talk about their teams a little more. Maybe give some in-depth stuff about some guys to keep your eye on. So thanks again to Kevin for being on, and we'll see you guys next week.